Good morning, beautiful people. Today I'm going to share with you all my morning routine. I always start the day off by opening my blinds. I feel like letting in the natural light just kind of refreshes me and sets the mood for the day. Then I move on and I get a glass of water and I make sure I pour myself a decent amount of water because I'm always so dehydrated after waking up because I really do like my heat to be on a certain temperature, but I don't like being dehydrated. So I make sure I get in a decent amount of water just to kind of refresh me and wake me up and make me feel energized for the day. Overall, I think it's just a good addition to add to any routine. Now, once I'm done with that, I move on to my plants. I love my plants so much, and I like to think that I take pretty good care of them. My routine with them looks something like opening the blinds, of course, and making sure that they're getting adequate amounts of sunlight. And I just give them a once over. I check for any new growth. I check their soil to see how dry they are because I'm not really on a strict watering schedule. I feel like my plants do much better when I feel them and I'm in tune with them rather than on a schedule. You never want to overwater or underwater your plants. Now this device here is a humidifier. So I keep this near this corner of plants because they come from more tropical climates and they do much better when I have some humidity in the air because again my house is really dry because I do keep the heat up and it's central heat, so it just blows. But when I have this device on, my plants do a lot better. They seem a lot stronger, they stand taller, and I get a lot more growth out of each one of them when I have this running, for the most part of the day. Now this plant, I believe, is called a Chinese evergreen. I got it from a plant pop-up shop in Chicago and I fell in love with it because of the pink on the leaves. It does take a little more maintenance because it gets really, really dry. I have to water it maybe 2 or 3 times a week, just depending on how cold it's been outside and how often I have the humidifier running. But other than that, I think it's a pretty easy care plant. This little one has been just looking funky ever since I bought it, but it's been hanging on. But I do see a little yellowing on the top. So I'm just going to set it on top of the sign so it can maybe gain a little strength. And I just love it. It's so, so beautiful. The leaves are so beautiful, and it's been doing pretty good. Now, my next beauty is this plant that I got from a flower shop in Detroit. Unfortunately, I don't remember the name, so I'll try to figure it out and put it in the description box. But I love this plant because of the color variation on the leaves, and I feel like this one talks to me the most. It's so sensitive to light and air and water, and it has no problem telling me, like, girl, I need this or I need that. So, for that, I can appreciate our level of communication, so to speak. But it's been doing pretty well. It was a learning curve with this one because I had to figure out the perfect spot. But ever since I put it in this window, it's been doing so well. And I also think the humidity is definitely helping it just stand tall and stand strong. This one here is my money tree. I actually have two of these because the one in the back I'm babysitting for my aunt. But this plant right here has about maybe two, I think it's even four new leaves coming out of the top of it. But I love money trees because they're so bushy and they're so thick. And I love the way the leaves come out and I can really watch the growth on it. I just love this plant. It's said to bring prosperity and wealth into the home, and it doubles as an air purifier. Now, this is the bottom of my money tree, the way I have it planted here. I actually just put some sand and rocks in the bottom of a flower vase, and then I top that with the soil. So the roots have a really deep long kind of shaft to grow into. And ever since I put it in this sort of potting situation, it's been doing a lot better. So this money tree back here is the one that belongs to my aunt, and I'm just babysitting, but it gets so much drier than my money tree, and it could have something to do with just the soil and the pot that it's in. So I've been having to water this a lot more often than my tree, because my tree didn't even need any water today. This one here is my rubber tree. I love this plant because I feel like it's just so chic, and I love the shape of the leaves, and again the color. It reminds me of like symbols of strength because it grows up in a nice tall like stalk almost. So I'm really looking forward to how big I can actually get this plant. But my daughter kept cutting leaves off of this plant, and I was so mad at her. But you know, it's been taking a beating. It's taking a beating really well. I've got a lot of new growth on here, but again, this one, I need to water this maybe once every 2 weeks because of the soil and the drainage. I have some rocks underneath the soil at the bottom, but it does take longer to dry out than those tropical plants over in the other window. So I'm definitely gonna go ahead and water this today because it needs it. It's so dry. This one is my snake plant that was gifted to me. And it's been such a labor of love with this plant because I had two and the other one is no longer with us. Moment of silence. But I really do love this plant because it retains moisture really well. And it can take a beating just like the rubber plant, but it is a lot more sturdy because again, it retains a lot more moisture. So I can really go maybe 4 to 6. I've even gone maybe 2 months without watering this plant sometimes because the soil just stays moist, and I guess it just sucks it up in a much slower pattern than the other plants. And yeah, we've got a little loose leaf here. I'm probably gonna go ahead and cut this off because there's no way that could possibly be salvaged at this point. But I'm gonna go ahead and skip out watering the snake plant today. And here is my golden pothos. I love this plant. It was the first one that I got on my plant care journey, and it really is super cool. It really is low maintenance, just like they say. It can go long periods of time without water, and it doesn't need a lot of light. You can even store a plant like this in your bathroom because the humidity would also help this plant a lot. But she's really, really dry because I leave it here in this back room and I kind of forget about it. But that's why I want to find a better place in the house to put it, because the leaves are so long, and I should say vines, it's just gotten so long. I can't even show you all the rest of it because that's how long it is. I probably need to just clip it and start a whole new plant because it's going to be hard for me to find somewhere to put it. The leaves are really, really limpy. Some of them have even fallen off because I do forget about it. But the thing about this plant is it's so easy, and it just will prop right back up as soon as I put some water in this bad boy. Okay. Now I'm on to breakfast, finally. I love eating chia seed pudding because it's so easy and so fresh. And also it's just an intentional meal. I have to remind myself at night to make the pudding so it'll be ready in the morning. And just the process of putting all your toppings onto the bowl. You have to make sure you're placing everything exactly where you want it, making it look all nice and cute. And I just love the energy and the time and the process that it takes to enjoy this meal in its totality. So I've just got some cacao nibs that gives it a little extra crunch, and just some fresh banana and strawberry and some other fruits over there on the table. But if you guys want to see how I make this chia seed pudding, just let me know and I can make a whole separate video for the recipe and post that for you guys. Once I'm done preparing my quick and easy breakfast, I just come over to the couch so I can have a nice, peaceful time to myself. As a mom, it can get really overwhelming, but it's nice to enjoy moments like this because we all do need those self-care moments where it's just us and no one else and we can just enjoy that time and be at peace. And if you guys have any tips on how to quit coffee for good, please let me know because I've been looking for an alternative, but I need my caffeine, okay? Once I'm done with breakfast, I head on back to my room so I can grab a book. I got Rupi's new book, Homebody, in the mail. I've been reading some of the pieces, and I just love Rupi. She's so awesome. And I just want to thank you guys for tuning in to my morning routine and spending this time with me. And please feel free to share your morning routines with me. There might be something that I find interesting or something that I want to go ahead and include in my routine. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great upcoming week, and see you soon.